Along the lines of an epilogue to the video of the 70 weeks, I'd like to discuss a prominent figure in the last two visions in the book of Daniel, the vision of the ram and the he-goat and the vision of the 70 weeks, and that is the archangel Gabriel. If one were to ask a Christian, and especially a Catholic, when it comes to the end times, the end of the world, the eschatology, the eschaton, what angel they think of when they think of the end times, many of them will invariably think of St. Michael the Archangel. Michael himself is featured in the book of Daniel, in chapter 12, as well as in the book of Revelation. However, who is the angel in the book of Daniel that is giving Daniel the interpretations regarding the end of persecutions and the beginning of restored Israel? And that is not Michael, but Gabriel, the archangel, who is sent to be that interpreter of these visions to Daniel, and in the case of the 70 weeks or 70 weeks of years, to declare the eventual end of persecutions and the restoration of God's holy people. Fast forward now to the New Testament. In the book of Luke, the Gospel according to Luke, Luke features Gabriel in the Annunciation not only to the Blessed Virgin Mary, but to Zechariah. And the Annunciation to Zechariah actually comes first, and the angel that appears to him is initially unidentified. He declares the eventual birth of John the Baptist, but when Zechariah questions this, that is when the angel identifies himself very dramatically. I am Gabriel. That would have a strong meaning and a powerful meaning to people who are familiar with the stories of Daniel. Gabriel is this great herald of God's final will for his people, his restoration of his people. In fact, it is Gabriel who is the angel of the end time. And what end is he announcing to Zechariah and the Blessed Virgin Mary in those two annunciations? Not an end of the world or an end of time or a consummation of all things, but rather the end in terms of that transitional period. Just as Gabriel was declaring to Daniel the end of persecutions and the beginning of restored Israel, so now in the Gospel of Luke, Gabriel is announcing the end of the reign of sin and the beginning of the Messianic era of salvation. And so, as a conclusion to the two portions that include Gabriel as part of Daniel's vision, I like to point out that, in fact, the angel of the end times is not necessarily St. Michael the Archangel, but in fact Gabriel. So when, in the end, Christ is ready to come again, while we might see Michael flying in on the clouds with all his battle gear to defend the people faithful to God, I will also look for Gabriel to announce that that end has finally come, the end of this age and the beginning of the final culmination of God's holy kingdom.